Four Midwest Guys presents Podcast Night in America.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podcast Night in America. I'm your host, Brian Inkenbauer. With me today is Brian Willenbrink.
What is going on?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Pretty good.
You know, we're here in our new studio. The first episode of Podcast Night in America was downstairs, and now we're upstairs in our new studio. Tonight we're going to discuss the breaking news. Vince McMahon starting the XFL back up.
Again?
And yes, and whether or not we think it's going to be good or not. We'll go through some of the pros and cons while we're doing our discussion. But first, before we get started, where can you find us on social media?
Oh, well, real quick here. I'll bring the little graphic up for you.
All right. You can find us at 4MidwestGuys.com, or you can find us on Twitter at 4MidwestGuys, at AnkZone, which is me, at BWillie1977, which is Willenbrink, and then on Instagram at _real_Ank.
That's right. You got some behind-the-scenes pictures up already?
Yeah. I'll take a couple each podcast, if not multiple ones. I haven't really done any videos for it yet. We're still kind of expanding on the what we're going to post where and how we're going to put it out there, but we're working on it.
Yep, definitely go to the .com, too. That's where you catch all of our past podcasts as well. So make sure you check that out. All right, so let's talk some XFL, Brian.
Okay, so Vince McMahon announced today, well, we'll call it yesterday since we are doing this after midnight.
Right.
He announced Thursday that he's giving Professional Football League another go. He's going to call it the XFL again, which is what him and NBC called it the last time. He said, but this time they won't rely on flashy cheerleaders or any kind of gimmicks.
He hate me.
Right, so I don't think they're going to have the He Hate Me. I think they're actually just going to have the jerseys with their name on them. He's going to fund it by himself this time. He's going to he sold a while back. He had sold $100 million of his WWE stock,
right,
to personally fund this Alpha Entertainment, which is going to be the sole owner of the whole league. So all the teams in the league, everything, owned and funded by him.
By him, so he's paying everybody's salary, essentially.
Correct.
Wow.
So he is paying everything. Now, that's not to say that there might be some other people that buy in to have stakes in certain locations.
Not to mention the TV deal.
Right, but he said he wants himself to be in charge of the whole thing, so that if it fails, he can say, I'm the one that screwed it up, or if it succeeds, I'm the one that created this.
Typical Vince McMahon.
Yeah. So we're going to have eight teams to start.
Okay.
We're going to have 40-man rosters.
Okay.
Okay. The 10-game season is going to begin in January.
Of 2020, right?
Yes, of 2020.
So we got a couple years for him to build here.
Yeah, but my question is, the games are on Sunday.
Okay. In January with the playoffs?
In January with the playoffs of the NFL.
Yeah, I would see them probably pushing that back till February, I would think.
And that's what I'm thinking, is that because I can't see any network trying to. It'd be one thing if they were going against the regular season, because we all know that the NFL regular season really means diddly squat most of the majority of the time.
Right.
But to play it against the playoffs,
to start off, yeah, it would be a little rough. I could see that being tough. Even if the NFL is down and we got the whole kneeling controversy and people pulling away from the NFL, I pulled away from the NFL this year. I just didn't want to deal with it.
Right.
So I took a break. But
I don't know. I mean, if it comes down on like a Sunday and I have the chance to watch XFL or my Seahawks,
yeah,
if they happen to be playing in January,
right,
I think I'm going to pick the Seahawks. I'm not going to pick the XFL. So I can see him maybe pushing it back, like you said, and it starts the week after the Super Bowl.
Or better yet, wait 2 weeks after Super Bowl, so everybody gets that, hey, I can watch football on Sunday. Oh, there is no football. And then you start putting your promos out. Hey, XFL next week. Some football's back, and you got the hangover.
Yeah, I mean, that could be. Well, I mean, as long as it's somewhere in that time frame where it's cold. At first, I thought they were going to do it during the summer. Like that's what
summer league.
Yeah, like a summer league. Yeah. But no, he's going to play it. It says January. We'll see if it's January or February.
Yeah.
He did say that the time limit of the game, that it's not going to be 3 hour long games. They're going to be family-friendly, 2-hour-long games.
Well, do you just shorten the quarters or just play halves?
Well, I think, it's either shorten the quarters or you play 2 halves.
Right.
And I think there might be a lot less commercials.
Okay. To start with, I could see that. But.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how he's gonna manage that, but that was his goal, was the
now, could you see
condensing.
him starting if he doesn't get a TV? I think he will get a TV deal, but let's just say he doesn't get a TV deal. Would he start this on the WWE Network, maybe?
Well, see, that's the other thing he said. He goes, with the way that media is changing, he doesn't have a network picked out yet. So, does that mean that Hulu or Netflix or Yahoo or Amazon
XFL rights
gets XFL rights and they stream it
for free? That's what I would start with.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it starts out that way. They stream it for free, and then they go, oh, okay, well, season 2 is coming, and this year it's going to be
part of the Hulu package or Netflix
the Hulu package, or you
Amazon Prime,
or
package.
you could, or like the WWE Network.
Yeah,
you can just pay $5 and watch the whole season.
Right.
You get access to this. So who knows how they're gonna set that up?
Yeah.
But right now he did mention that the way things are changing, he wanted to have a
open media
that's going to be accessible to fans. He wanted it fan centric.
Right. I could definitely see that happening. In fact, I could see a combination of like an NBC along with Netflix. Especially Netflix is kind of hurting right now, or they're going to be hurting. So I could definitely see them trying to reach out to to pull in more subscribers to the sports.
Yeah, I mean that'd be kind of. I mean, it would be kind of cool to see because right now I think NFL Network does it with NBC, and sometimes ESPN does it with ABC. So maybe you see a kind of like a joint venture between.
Yeah, you do the
several different platforms,
or an XFL direct ticket kind of. You don't pay for it the first couple seasons, then they kind of start adding on the.
Or they say $2 and you watch the whole season. Just for the first season.
Yeah, first season, $2. Who cares, right?
Yep. See what you get.
It's $2 in their pocket.
Yep. Everybody's going to pay $2 so they can watch the whole. Whatever.
Or share it with your friends. I'll give you $1. You give me $1. We'll come over to my house and watch it every Sunday.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So. Let's see. It says players won't receive a forum to take personal stance on social issues on the playing field.
Well, there's a big win right there.
He said, "People don't want social and political issues coming into play when they're trying to be entertained. We want someone who wants to take a knee to do their version of that in their own personal time."
Yeah,
it's a direct.
That's a business deal. It's like you and I going to work. We can't make a social statement.
Right. So what it is it's a direct knock at Colin Kaepernick and that whole stand, and it makes you wonder. Is he doing this because of Trump? Because he wants to get Trump's backing? Because Linda McMahon is on the small business?
Oh yeah, well Trump's been on WWE before,
right? And so maybe he wants that connection now. But he was asked about that, and he did say, "I have no idea if Trump's going to back this or not."
Yeah,
he goes, "But this is my venture," and blah blah blah.
This is my vision.
Yeah,
it's a good time. I mean, the NFL's hurting. There's blood in the water, so it's a perfect time to be a shark, if you ask me.
Okay, so let's go through some. I pulled up their website.
Okay.
Let's go through some frequently asked questions, and we can discuss if need be. If not, if the answers, explain themselves, we don't have to worry about it.
All right.
One was why is the XFL launching? And he said an opportunity exists to reimagine America's favorite sport by putting fans at the center, while leveraging a changing media landscape and evolving consumer viewing behavior.
Yeah. So in other words, very online, very interactive.
It sounds. And I wonder if it was the was it the playoffs that did it last time? Was it the Super Bowl or was it NBA or the NCAA where you could pick different camera angles?
That was ESPN did a version just kind of like that with the college championship playoffs.
Okay, that's not the first one.
But that was like just different angles up on the television.
Right.
And then, but yeah, I think if I remember right, NCAA, I think last year.
Yeah. Okay. So
because you could do
right.
Different
So I mean, so how cool would that be if you're watching the game and you want to watch from the pylon, or you want to watch from the goalpost, or you want to watch, and you just click the button and that's what you're watching from. Like some of them
put the coach cam on.
Right. Like some of them obviously will be our normal view of football.
Right.
But like, say you at home let's say they're at the 1 yard line and you want to see if they get in or not, and you click to the pylon camera to watch them go in instead of watching the main.
Or maybe your favorite team's offense, your favorite quarterback is off the field. Your quarterback is wired up, and you want to see what he's talking to his players about.
Yeah,
bingo, right there.
That
audio
feeds.
Or
what if you have a camera
in the helmet?
In the helmet.
Of all of our popular players.
Yeah, like players, on certain players. Obviously not every player, but like your quarterbacks or wide receivers or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And like, so you can see him go up underneath the center and go, hut, 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 hut. And then you see him watch his head and watch his movements.
What he's looking at.
Yes.
Decision making.
How cool would that be?
That'd be awesome.
So, I mean, there's tons of possibilities.
Stats on the side.
Yeah.
I can see it.
There's tons of possibilities here.
Yeah.
Will teams be owned by the league, or will teams be owned by run by independent entities, kind of like the NFL? And he says the new XFL is a single entity structure with plans for 8 teams at launch, all of which will be owned by the league.
So, yeah. So it's all Vince McMahon for now.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it says, when is the XFL launching? It's launching early 2020. So like, part of the article said
he's looking at
January. But then other things said 2020. So maybe by January he means that their practices and like preseason starts in January.
I can see that. That would make more sense.
Where will the teams be located? Have the nicknames been determined? So the selections of cities will take place over the coming months with a mix of major and mid-major markets, all in regions of the U.S. or possibilities. Team identities and logos will be revealed after the cities are selected. Okay, so we put the graphic up here on the up on the monitor here, so that you can see we've had 5 actually here in Cincinnati.
Arena teams.
Yep. Or indoor football teams. We had the Rockers from 92 to 93.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Swarm from 2002 to 2004.
Yep.
We had the Marshalls.
Right.
2004 2006. We had Jungle Cats in 2007, owned by Ken Griffey Jr., defensive lineman Sam Adams, and the trainer Dr. Timothy Kremchek. Right. They went in on it. They folded after one season.
Right.
And then the Commandos was the most recent, 2010 to 2012. And they folded for the 2013 season. They didn't have enough money to run. Said they'd be back in 2014 and they never came back.
Right.
Which is what most of us kind of figured was going to happen with that.
Right.
Of all of those teams, none of them lasted longer than 2 years.
Right.
Although none of them were really well promoted around here.
True.
And of all those teams, I only went to the Rockers games, and that was 92, 93.
Right.
Not once did I go to a Swarm game.
Mm-hmm.
Not once did I go to the Marshalls game, Jungle Cats, or the Commandos.
Right.
They weren't part of anything that I felt connected to or anything else. Like I watched. I forgot where I saw one of the games online. Maybe we'll say online because I don't remember if it was like Star 64 or online.
Right. Off network.
Yeah, off network. I don't know if it was one of those or not, but I wasn't impressed. And then I didn't. At the time, I didn't feel like going
to a game.
Going to arena football.
Why bother?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think not that I think Cincinnati's going to land an XFL team. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I think if there's enough backing and there's enough popularity, because this is maybe a legitimate, well, let's just call it what it is, a legitimate run at the NFL. Maybe not a threat, because starting off I don't think it's going to be much of a threat, but it will be there. But yeah, I think there might be a little bit more of a push behind it. As far as Cincinnati get one, I don't think we're going to get one because we're a small market city. I think if he's probably going to start in the larger markets. I think he will put teams that have NFL teams in them. I think LA is probably a pretty good bet. New York is a good bet. Obviously,
I'm going to guess it's going to be markets where the WWE travels well.
That could be too. That would be smart.
So your New Orleans,
Chicago, Canada, even
Orlando, LA, New York.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are your first 5.
Easy.
And then I think you put in somebody in the Texas, and then like that whole like Great Plains area, Missouri, or somewhere out there, and then I think that you have a place like Somewhere on the East Coast. I mean, the majority of the people live in this belt here. I think you have either a Cleveland, Cincinnati, Atlanta. I think you have one of those.
Yeah.
Fill out the last 3 because he said there's 8 teams.
I think, to me, for the last 3, I would, and I really hate to say this, but you want to pick a city that's probably has a large football base already established with the NFL, and I
St. Louis.
St. Louis had a team, so that would be a good spot.
Well, that's what I'm saying, St. Louis, because they had a team, they just lost it, so they're already hurting. So the new team comes in, they're going to back whatever comes in there.
Right, and I'm about to shoot myself for saying this, but maybe
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They've got an awfully large fan base.
Well, the only reason why I don't think
Dallas does.
Right, but the only reason why I don't think Pittsburgh is because they have the NHL and they have
they have baseball.
They have baseball. They have football.
Right.
I don't see them getting the XFL.
I don't know. They have a. And I hate to say that because they're everywhere. The damn fans are everywhere.
Right, but that's why I don't think the XFL would do good there because they are Steelers or nothing.
Maybe.
And that's the same reason why I don't think Philadelphia.
Oh, because the Eagles being such diehard Eagle fans.
Yeah.
I think as long as the XFL season doesn't go up against the NFL season, I think we're fine. If they were competing with one another, yeah. But I think there's enough people that want or love football so much. I want football longer than I get. We already complain all the time. We're like, football season isn't long enough and baseball season is too long. That's a common complaint. So I don't know. That's just my way of seeing it. And I hate to say that too because God knows I hate the Steelers, but especially being from Cincinnati. But not to insult our Pittsburgh fans out there, but that's just the way it is.
True.
So anyway,
let's see. We got. How many games will be played? 10-game regular season with a postseason consisting of 2 semifinals and a championship game.
Okay.
So you have a 2-week playoffs.
So you take what
the top 4 teams play the first.
That makes sense with that 8-league team.
So the top 4 teams play the first week, and then the next week the top 2 teams play.
Yeah, that's 50% of your league making the playoffs. So that makes perfect sense.
It says how big will the rosters be? They said 40 players.
40 players. That's a good start for each team. That's a special team. That's an offense. That's a defense.
That's a lot of players to try to form an entire league.
Well, there's going to be a ton of players out there. And look at even the guy, he hate me, he jumped to the NFL. A couple of kickers jumped to the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, there was
a bunch that the first fail attempt, there was, And
you're gonna have those players that can I make more in the XFL than playing for the the whatchamacallit team,
right?
For the NFL, what is it called?
What's that? You talking about the practice squads?
Yeah, the practice squads.
Right.
So you never know how that'll play out.
Exactly.
Or who just recently retired from the NFL that could jump and play in the XFL,
or other people that are unemployed in the NFL. Who could that possibly be?
Right. What will the players' salary structure look like? Mm-hmm. He said the players' salary structure is still in development. Players will be paid to play and paid more to win.
That's a great incentive. I love that. I love that idea. I've always said that.
Which is funny because I read this here because I just read that about the NFL. The NFL. Their regular season is set up differently than their playoffs scenario. So their playoff scenario is if you were on the roster, the NFL team's roster, for at least 8 weeks of the season, you get paid $51,000 per game.
To sit the bench,
or in Jimmy Garoppolo's case, he's getting paid even though he's on the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
He gets paid because the way it's worded, he gets paid because the Patriots keep moving on.
Oh, so he got paid all through the playoffs.
So he's getting paid all through the playoffs. Now the other thing is, which is interesting, to make the Super Bowl, they make $51,000. So whether you're the backup kicker or Tom Brady, you make $51,000. If you win, they double it.
That's it.
That's it.
There's no incentive to win other.
Well,
than
there is
get
if
the
it's
Super Bowl.
there is if it's built into your contract.
Okay.
But that's just the base.
Okay.
So because the article I was reading said Garoppolo is going to make more than Tom Brady because of the way the tax things work.
Uh-huh.
That as soon as Tom Brady sets foot in Minnesota,
Yeah.
he starts paying the
taxes.
The taxes because he worked in that state technically.
Yeah.
So he's going to pay taxes for an entire week.
Oh wow.
Garoppolo's not traveling with the
So he gets
Patriots.
to pocket the money.
So he's pocketing that money. He's not paying taxes for Minnesota.
That makes me feel so much better at the moment.
I mean, so they said. So it is funny that Garoppolo is going to make more on the Super Bowl than Brady will.
That's hilarious, actually.
Yeah,
funny stuff.
So anyway, the last thing I want to talk about before we kind of discuss players.
Yeah.
It says, will there be testing for drugs and performance-enhancing drugs?
Mm-hmm.
And he says their player health and wellness policy will include drug tests.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I want a clean sport.
Right. Well,
Obviously.
speaking of clean sports, he also said that no one with a record will be playing in his league, including DUIs.
That's gonna really shell out the player pool. I mean, big time shell out the player pool.
But then again, you're going to have those college players who weren't good enough to play in the NFL, but they were pretty good.
They're gonna get their shot.
They're going to get their shot because they have a clean record.
And they play by the rules.
Correct. So, I mean, it's going to be good for the sport. You're not going to have to worry about anything, any kind of DUIs or anything, because they have that clause.
Right.
He's got the same kind of clause in for WWE.
Right. If you screw up,
you're gone.
You're gone.
You're gone. You're
Makes sense.
suspended or whatever. Yeah.
It's a business
and it's
model.
his way.
You and I, we're held to the same.
And it's what the way he wants to do it. The other thing he did say before we go talk about players.
Yeah.
Last thing I'm gonna bring up, he did say there will be no mixing of WWE and his XFL.
Oh, like last time where he tried to make it like wrestling.
Right.
Right.
So there will not be like Roman Reigns won't be
at the
stadium for a head coach position, or it won't be Roman Reigns in the LA blah 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 or
right. Come see. He wants to be a completely independent.
It is a completely independent,
and that's smart.
Separate thing
for football fans. That's smart.
Right.
Already established football fans.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, some of the players. We put the graphic up.
Yep.
Some of the players that was in the names was Colin Kaepernick. Obviously with the whole kneeling situation, though, he probably in his contract it says he will not do that kind of stuff. So does he come play in the XFL?
And if he does, and if he kneels, I imagine he'll get fired because
because it's part of the code.
Right.
It'll probably written in his contract.
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel.
There's a troublemaker though, and he's got a pass, and he's got some.
He's got a past, but does he have a record? Like, I don't know the specifics of everything. Like, I know he went to rehab because he was having issues, but his issues were on social media. It wasn't because he was arrested for anything.
Right.
It was social media stuff.
So
I don't know if he has one or not. And then you have Tim Tebow, who, which I almost guarantee you will be in this league.
Oh, I guarantee it. I could see
so many
people are pulling for that guy.
He almost made a bunch of these other teams
right
in the NFL.
Yeah, he's the underdog.
Right.
Lover,
so I think you'll see him.
Kid.
I think you'll see a couple of the other like former Jets quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably see a couple of the former Buccaneers quarterbacks that couldn't quite make it here in the NFL, but definitely could make it in the XFL.
Yeah.
Make a name for themselves again, kind of like, we might see some of the older NFL players who say, I still got it.
And I still want to play.
Terrell Owens. Ocho Cinco.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Ocho Cinco maybe, but because I'm a Cincinnati fan.
Well, the only reason why I say that is because Terrell Owens already said
he'd do it.
He could do it.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not he's the Chad Ochocinco that came and tried to play for the Patriots and was like, I can't remember the playbook, and was gone after 2 weeks.
Right.
Whether he's somebody like that or if he sticks around for an entire season, who knows? But, I mean, I'm excited to watch just to see what it is because I enjoy football. And the fact that Vince McMahon's already taken a stand against, like, the DUIs and stuff like that, domestic violence, obviously. Mm-hmm. Get out of here.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. He's already focusing on the game. He's taking the political stuff out, so they're not going to be able to do that on the sidelines.
Right. To me, that's what I want. I don't want to. To me, football for me is entertainment. It's a sport, and I like the sport, and I watch it, and I love the sport. But I also watch it to get away from the real world, and the real world is full of politics and political correctness and all that shit. I turn on football to escape that. And I think he understands that. And establishing that rule to start with is the smartest move he can do in this current political climate.
Right. And
because he understands that people want to be entertained.
Yep. So, pull the last thing up
Sorry,
there.
My bad.
That's
I got
right.
into my talking.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, basically, another thing I just thought about while you were sitting there talking about, all the stuff you're wanting to see and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, when we're sitting, we'll say we're sitting at your house, and we have, if we have it set up like we used to have it set up, where we have multiple TVs set up.
Right, 3 TVs.
Okay, right. So we have multiple TVs set up, right. And on the center screen, you have the main image of what they're showing, right? And there's a link that you can click to change your view. Well, we have that link pulled up on that TV, and we have the other link pulled up on that TV. So you have the game
with 3 different views.
With 3 different views
on
and
3 different televisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that?
That would be badass.
I mean, that would be awesome, especially like if you had the one where it was just running the running the stats.
Yeah, they did that with the college. ESPN did that with one of the playoff games, and they had stats in the middle, and they had a bunch of different views. The different views were okay, but the stats were cool because they changed. They were live and they changed. You could see total yards, see interceptions, you could see, rushing yardage and passing yardage. Cool. It was badass. I loved it. I would love to see more of that. I would love to see little graphics they put up, like, he's hot on the right side of the field, but he's not so hot when he passes to the left. And
right.
Throw us different stuff. That would be just, to my, as a stats guy, I would love that. That would just, I'd eat that crap.
Right, I think that it would play into, like, especially if they decided to start doing like a fantasy
football league. Yeah, that's huge.
Then that would be fantastic while you're sitting there watching that.
Yeah.
Or if like you're sitting there watching that and you can plug like
on your phone
your phone, and you can plug in who you have and your stats
start
popping up.
Yeah.
I mean,
the possibilities are endless if they really invest the money into it, and not just put the money into it, but do it wisely and put it where it needs to be put. And
right. Well, he did say they're going to make it fan-centric, so...
Yeah. If they make it fan-centric, I think it will be legitimate... it might end up being the threat someday to the NFL. Not right away.
Oh, no, I don't think... I think it's got a little while to go.
Yeah.
Goodell's got to do a lot to keep breaking down this product that's out there. He's doing a good job of it. It's not as powerful as it once was.
Yeah.
But he's gonna have to do a lot more than what's going on right now.
Yeah, and hey, competition always for us that breeds better product.
Better product from both sides.
So.
All right. Well, there you have it. Thanks for joining us in tonight's edition of Podcast Night in America. And so be sure to check us out on the Facebook and the Twitter and the web. And hit like and share and everything else below.
Again, www.4midwestguys.com. At 4midwestguys on Twitter, at AnkZone. On Twitter, at bwilly1977. And again, our new Instagram, at the real _ Ank. It's all there, so definitely check us out.
Yep. So next time, catch us on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Peace out, guys. See you later.